What is the best year in film? We are here to discuss and possibly debate that here today. I'm here with the Dad Man. I have 5 years that I'm about to throw at you, and I know right off the bat it might not mean anything to you unless you are a highly knowledgeable movie fan, but trust me, we will go back. We will make our case for each year that we state. Starting with my top 5, I have 1994, 1995, 1998. 3 in the 90s right off the bat, and then 1966 and 1962. Dad Man, what are your top 5 years in
I didn't
film?
go far back as Mr. Filmology here. 2017, 2019, 2015, 2012, and 1930. Okay,
So,
I made that last one up. I don't even know if they made
I
films.
do want to. Yes,
2010.
They did. The Oscars,
Yeah, but I
the
wouldn't-
Oscars
it would
actually
suck.
started in 1929. So there
Why
was
they called? You know why they're called Oscars?
because Oscar Mayer Wiener was already taken.
Sponsor. Yeah,
But
the Wienermobile was at the first.
something I feel is necessary to tell the fans.
You haven't seen a movie since the late 70s?
I didn't tell you they had to be like within the last 10 years.
No,
A lot of people are going to
I
find is auspicious. Is that
that is not.
does that word work there?
No,
What is the meaning of auspicious? Suspicious?
I don't know if it's a word.
I think it's
There's something with the auspices of. I'm not sure. A caller's gonna or a listener's gonna have to tell us what word.
call in and we'll type your comment and then we'll put it on the
Taco
episode.
Man was actually thinking of.
Well-
If it's an English word or maybe another language.
Auspicious is a word I've heard said before. Well, do you want to make your case for your number 1 year first?
No,
or
I
do
didn't
you
go
wanna-
back as far. I mean, I know they're really great.
You
films.
could have, though.
I could have, but that sounds like work, and
You're going to suffer
not
from
gonna
the
work.
judges. That's all I'm going to. The
Well,
Russian
they can knock
judges. The
themselves
Russian
out.
judge is very upset right now.
we'll get a 4 from them. 2010.
Try not to cough, please.
All right, I won't do that. Social Network,
2010 is good.
Inception,
Yeah.
Black Swan.
Okay.
Now, these aren't all 10 movies, the best 10 from that, but these are the ones that I picked out. Shutter Island.
Wait. Can I stop?
No.
Are these all from that year?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
What do you think I'm randy? Just saying
No, because
random
what you
titles?
said was a little confusing.
Yeah, it wasn't. All right, these are all from 2010 for the
No, we're with you.
mentally challenged among us and The Town.
Town is good, but
I never
isn't quite
realized-
on the same level as the other ones you mentioned. It's all I'm
The
gonna
Town
say.
is a great
It's very good.
crime movie. Excellent.
The Network, The Black Swan, those are masterpieces.
Inception?
Inception is great. Yeah, that's a good year. Probably the best year in the last 15. Probably.
Yeah, I might go with that. I might agree with that.
I would say if you were going one in the 21st century, I feel like 2007 should have made your list.
Well, you
Just
have a
off-
list and I have a list.
Just
and
off
they're
the
not
top of
same.
my head, they have There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men.
I saw that and I didn't.
And those two are phenomenal. Okay, so you know actually probably most of these movies that I'm going to mention for 1994. And it must be said, me and Dad Man, we made a video that was 1995 is the best year in film. And it ended up being second on my list. So it was misinformation. Lock me up, Dr. Fauci. Sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of those types of things.
Yeah.
Russian disinformation. 1994, though, statistically was really impressive. And guys, I'm a stat guy. I like numbers. So I've seen 13 films from that year, and the average rating is a 4.12 for all the movies I saw that year.
You know, I have my opinion and then there's like mass
Objectively.
opinion, and I go with my opinion over mass appeal opinion.
Can I?
You can.
Before I start, I do feel it is necessary to say most people would think the last 20 years of film were not as good as
Sure, you got to
previous 20.
shit on my list right out the gate. Go ahead.
Just saying.
All right, so tell me 1994.
94. Pulp Fiction, one of the best movies of all time. Pulp Fiction
Okay, I know. I've
is
seen it. I saw the movie more than once.
pop culture. This one you don't know, so you can't shit on it, but once I tell you. Satan Tango by Bellatar, a Hungarian momentous film. 7.5 hours long, black and white.
Is that the one about
foreign.
communism? Is it?
What the hell did you just say?
Is that the one about communism?
Yes.
Okay, you've talked about this movie many times.
I have a tendency
Who would
to
ever
talk
watch
about
it?
my favorite films a lot.
And even in film school.
I did.
Okay, well you're different. All
Pretty
right.
cool. Shawshank Redemption,
Okay, yeah.
Forrest Gump,
All right. Yeah.
Leon the Professional,
Yeah.
Hoop Dreams, one of the best documentaries of all time.
I never even saw Hoop Dreams.
Well, it's a
about
documentary.
basketball.
You don't watch a lot of documentaries.
That's not that great a list. It's good. It's as good as my 2010.
These are all
Maybe.
masterpieces or
No,
better,
they're
in my
not.
opinion. To me, they are.
Would name your fourth one again.
Forrest Gump,
Okay, after that.
Leon the Professional.
Yeah.
Have
Really?
You didn't see that one, though.
I'm aware of it.
Well, you don't know how good it is if you haven't seen it.
God, Jesus. It's not that good.
Dipshit.
Yeah. All right.
I apologize. That is how you win arguments, though.
Yeah, make fun of. Yeah, just
You
criticize
just have to
the other
name
person.
call them.
That's what they do in,
politics.
presidential debates.
That is true.
Called an ad hominem
Hey.
attack. Auspicious. I looked up the words. It kind of means portent. Oh well, it doesn't mean that. It means
You do have the definition right in front of you, so you could just read it.
it doesn't actually give it.
It's very auspicious of you to not read it.
Where's the definition at?
If I was your phone, I would answer that question, but
To suggest positive future success.
oh wow.
So
I
it's
was
a harbinger
I was
of.
complimenting you.
I don't remember what you said.
I said your list was very auspicious.
Well, that doesn't fit.
Well, because your list
If I
is
were to
bad.
say something that was
If your
a
list was
sign
good.
that my list would be good, say that's us auspicious. No. Well, you used to.
Well, like when the
So we learned a word today.
okay, I was gonna
like the
try to make a
ABCs.
joke that was a little bit over the line. I don't know if it would have went.
Yeah, I think it was.
Let's hear
probably
your number
way over the
2, or should I go twice? No, you go.
line. I don't know why I picked
You'll like
2017.
95.
I'm not even
You'll-
good on. Well, I know why, because I like the word.
You'll like
movie.
95.
I think 2012, Dark Knight Rises,
Okay, it's very good.
which is my favorite of the three, and I know people don't like it as much as the others.
It's the majority
I
of
love
people's
Bane.
least favorite of the three. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
like I said, I'm a trendsetter. Okay.
Okay, well,
The Master,
The
Philip
Master's
Seymour
very
Hoffman
good.
on display, one of our greatest actors ever, R.I.P.
And-
Zero Dark 30,
well, just going back to the Master, you got Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin
too.
Phoenix was in it too, playing a very good and weird role. Zero Dark 30, which I thought was a good movie. Argo, if you've never seen that, you should. Very suspenseful, true story,
Pretty
very
good,
cool. Yeah. And Silver Linings Playbook, which isn't all that, but
I mean,
wasn't bad.
those movies are all very good, but none are even great. I think.
The Master.
Yeah, oh, no, yeah, the Master is a master. Yeah, it's at least great. So I take that back. You should have led with the Master. 1995, 20 films, 3.9 average.
Okay.
Heat, Casino, Seven, Braveheart, Kids, 12 Monkeys. But I know you like those first four.
Yeah, Kids I never saw, so I can't comment. The other ones, 12 Monkeys,
You
one
like
of my
12
favorites.
Monkeys, so.
Love that movie.
I mean, those are 5 masterpieces.
That was
at
really.
least.
It was just a really, really good movie of that genre of like time travel and going back and forth in time. I've never seen one done as well as that. Or I don't know. It was just good. I mean, Brad Pitt was like a lunatic. Played the best lunatic I've ever seen in a movie. I don't know. He did something with his eye where it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how he did it, but I mean, God, did he sell that role?
It's the Paul Giamatti method. Just mess your eye up and don't tell anyone how you did it.
Yeah.
There's so much to be talked about for that year. First and foremost, you have to think 12 Monkeys and 7 Brad Pitt performances. And then you got Heat and Casino De Niro performances.
Yeah.
And who do you give the edge to? Because I think my gut wants to go De Niro right off the bat, but then you start thinking about...
Well, Pitt didn't have a huge role in
12 Monkeys.
Yeah. I mean, he was definitely a support.
It was a very different performance. It made him stand out more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Heat, De Niro is amazing.
Very
it's
good.
Electric.
Excellent crime movie.
But I really liked Brad Pitt in 7.
Oh my God, yeah. I love that movie. That movie was... Who directed that? Is that Fincher?
David Fincher, yeah.
I mean, only he can do stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, what's the best movie of that year, also? Between Heat, Casino, 7, 12 Monkeys. I don't know how you feel about Braveheart.
I dressed up as him for Halloween one year. With a
would
real
it be,
sword.
Is it in the mix for your top of the year, though? Amongst
God.
those?
So, to be honest, in my opinion, and I know people will not... I'll say Braveheart, followed closely by 7. I thought 7 was just... You know, it wasn't
7's amazing.
a great classic drama.
It's so great, like one of the greatest.
Yes. But it is. It's a comment on society. Really, that movie was. You know, about the lack of caring. You know, lack of humanity. Well, this guy had just checked out. Was like, I'm not. You know, people become so inhumane that I will visit upon them the 7 deadly sins. And, you know, that's what he did.
It met like biblical wrath.
Yeah.
You know, or punishment.
Well,
rather.
And having him as the 7th sin, you know, was just brilliant.
But you're right. Yeah, it was the apathy of society to our ills.
Yeah.
That made him feel as though he needed to act.
Yes.
Compelled to act.
Well, like in there, you know, because he'd written, like, if you remember when they went into his apartment was just like...
And the whole opening is the real pages. They had people actually in the art department write those books.
I don't remember that. I didn't know that. But, I mean, it was like a Library of Congress of this man's mind.
Yeah, just ramblings of a madman.
Right. But, you know, the stuff he said was all true. He said somebody was talking to him in a subway or something, and he threw up on his shoes or something just bizarre, and, you know. But John Doe had checked out.
I guess there's a comic series about his backstory. It's interesting.
Oh, man, that's a movie.
Yeah. That would be
That's
something
a movie.
to do.
The Life of John Doe. That's a movie.
And then at the end, you just show Kevin Spacey's his face.
Yeah.
That's the scare at the end.
Yeah.
Scare all the boys and girls.
And so, small role for him, very small role, very impactful. Why are you smiling?
I was just doing a weird smile. Threw you off.
I was like saying something I shouldn't have been saying. Morgan Freeman.
Pitt
Pitt
and Spacey are the name of the game, I think. Gwyneth
Morgan just is like unremarkably remarkable, you know, in that movie. In many movies. But I really think
he's very grounded to whatever character he takes on.
Yes. But he was the voice of conscience.
Yeah, he's a naturalistic actor. It's the way I would describe it.
Yeah.
Which doesn't steal the show for me. I like Pacino from Heat more than Freeman from 7. That's just my taste.
Yeah, well, I get it. I get you on that. I do. At points, I thought it was too much because I'm not a huge Pacino fan. I'm just not.
I
know he's a very good actor, but
enthralled
like
with
even
him.
in like Godfather, I'm like,
Godfather 2, he was really good.
I know that was his vehicle. That was for him.
It worked because he's so in control, and by the end
Yeah.
you realize how in control and cold as fucking ice.
Right, he
man.
plays a very cold, calculated.
It's what he does with. I forget the brother who's fucking everything up.
Fredo.
He's Fredo, yeah.
Is it Fredo?
I want to say the balding guy
Right,
with the
yeah.
mustache. How he just he's literally fishing with his son,
Yeah.
and then has him taken out a minute later.
Yeah.
And that's just that's ice cold killer. And De Niro is in that as well. And when he's flashback
Yeah.
Don Corleone, and when he kills that guy at the end,
Yeah.
oh my, that was
With the
fucking-
guy in Italy?
Yeah, because he's an old guy by now, but
Yeah.
he didn't forget.
Right.
That was badass. Yeah, sorry
De
to
Niro
kinda
was
sidetrack.
just very. I mean, I thought he. I
Pacino
think he's
almost
better
had
than Pacino.
he almost had 2 films stolen from him by the same
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. 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 Played by two different actors. Yeah.
But I mean, Brando and De Niro, there are good arguments to be made that for each that they're the best actor ever. I mean, De Niro's one of a few actors to win Best Actor multiple times.
Well deserved.
Yeah. And Brando is thought to have influenced basically like the great modern day actors that you would think of now.
Yeah. Although he was a total head case. But maybe if you're that kind of artist, you just aren't like regular people walking the street.
I think it got to his head too. where he's
I
like,
agree with
"Damn,
that, but I
I'm
also
good."
think the artistics or the creatives, they call that group of people that just they're wired differently.
Yeah.
They see things that they look for meaning and they find meaning in things that other people just ignore.
Well, and like think on this for a minute, because there's a lot of different methods to acting.
Yeah.
And method acting, even in of itself, is to take your place mentally to elicit the action you're supposed to follow. So you're sad. Take yourself mentally to a moment you were sad.
Yes.
But some people will read into it and then try to empathize with the character they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think using that muscle, flexing it as often as you do if you were an actor, can make you think about scenarios and maybe take on unwanted water that normal people wouldn't.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
You just hear a story about like a homeless guy and
And then you become
affected by it.
you empathize with them so strongly. I got Sean Penn, who's known he's a method actor too. I think like even in Fast Times in Ridgemont High, which wasn't a really serious role at all.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But I don't know
Spicoli.
what it was as Spicoli, what he did, but he was Spicoli throughout the shooting of the whole movie. He just acted like that.
Probably a more fun time period of his life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably was late for a lot of appointments though.
Yeah. Pizza delivered to his social studies class.
That's a fun movie. I don't think it gets enough credit. Maybe it does. I don't know.
It's fun, but there's like uncomfortable parts too, because the one girl has an affair with a cop.
Is that the girl who gets the smortion?
I don't know if she gets. No, I don't think she. I think you're thinking of a different movie. I think you're thinking of The Last American Virgin.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Well, I think you've seen that part. Maybe. Okay, she would be. Yeah, she would have been the one. Because she. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
There's a
Well,
lot of movies that kind of blend together from that time
yeah,
period.
true. All right, hit me with your third.
2015.
Okay, what came out in 2015?
I didn't look that up. I knew it was a good year for a film. Mad Max,
Okay.
Hateful Eight,
Can I just give you some
Revenant,
credit?
Spotlight. I wanted to
Spotlight's good.
bring a
Yeah.
specific attention to Spotlight.
It gets some hate online because it was very acclaimed amongst reputable critics, and then I think there came like an undertow of informal criticisms. I still am on the side of Spotlight was good.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was really good.
I mean, I didn't know
Maybe
anything
I'm
about that, but
misremembering.
sometimes stuff like that, if you don't know, it's better. It's just like, do you like the movie or not? And
Yeah.
it was about a very significant cultural event.
Well, it was huge, yeah.
And
somehow the movie was able to capture that enormity very well.
yeah,
Because there's times it's so ubiquitous with culture today that it's easy to understate the enormity of like
of that
when
scandal.
when that found
When it first broke up, because there's a point in there that said, like, you're going to war with the Catholic Church,
yeah.
Which at that time wasn't like it is today. Now would be much easier. Back then,
Well, because I think a large role of that was because of that the power of the church
Yes.
is diminished today because, I mean, it got 9/11s basically.
yeah, it did.
Well, that's not even a good metaphor because America's pretty strong after 9/11, but
Well, shaken to its core,
it got Hiroshima'd and Nagasaki'd.
right? One, not both, just one though.
Yeah, maybe. I'd say both. Well, Mad Max, people love that. Some people think that's the best movie of the 21st century.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I really like it. I didn't.
Some of the action sequences were the coolest.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess for a while there, because I really like Hardy a lot. I like him,
Tom Hardy, yeah.
Tom Hardy, because that's part of the reason why I really like Dark Knight Rises. I just think he's just masterful in that. Just a masterful criminal. Just completely buy him as Bane. And the voice, there's certain movies that you like, and that's one of them. That there's just a character that I just think is just such a great portrayal.
Yeah, that was during his run when they were like kind of giving him less lines.
He didn't have any.
Because like Bane, he didn't have a
Old
lot.
Bane, well, Bane.
Then Mad Max, he's not talking again, and then you have Dunkirk. He doesn't really talk a lot.
I don't even know that was him. I forgot that he was in it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
could have
what
been
was
anyone.
that? Because he wasn't. Because you remember he did this one movie where he played a crime. There were twins
Yes,
in England. Crime.
that's an interesting movie. I
It
like
really,
that, yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
He played the one's homosexual.
Yeah.
He is so fucking weird.
Yeah.
The way he talks, it's like, I think he did a great job. Especially, like, the one character was just a regular criminal, which is his brother.
Right.
And then the other twin, who's gay, and just, he's so weird, though, the way he talks and everything. Did you saw him? You saw him?
Yeah.
I just...
It's
it's
funny,
really good.
yeah. There's like a fight, or they were like confronting another gang, and the gay one, like, he pulls out like two butcher's knives, and the normal brother's like, no, not yet. Like, he was just ready to escalate it to.
It's like, let's try to negotiate. Yeah, because his brother was like was smart and savvy and
I
rational.
mean, he was still like a brutish criminal, but
Right.
like his brother was a
off the
fucking
wall.
raving lunatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Mad Max. What else did you hit on there? Spotlight's really good.
Hateful Eight.
Oh, Hateful Eight, that's a masterpiece.
I saw that, and well, I like it, but I saw it in parts. Thing.
Well, Netflix did do that, I believe. They did it in episodes, I think.
Oh well.
It was smart of them. They did that with longer movies.
and then
Hateful Eight
Revenant,
is-
which Tom Hardy's in that.
Yeah. Good year for Hardy. Revenant's good. I must watch it again because for whatever reason when I logged it on Letterboxd, I gave it a low rating.
Well,
Like a 3. I don't think it's that bad, but I don't know how good
it's
it
just
is.
an odd movie.
It's good. Hardy is good. I think the reason I want to give it such backlash is because, it's the movie Leo won Best Actor for, but I'm like, it's not. I don't think it's his best performance. That's just
Well,
me.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't. He was way better in many other films.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
And
he's
know
better
that's
in
not-
Inception. I always thought, even though you wouldn't think of that as a dramatic role, he was great in Inception. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, because he captures the instability of not knowing what's real and what's
Right.
not. All right, I'm going to hit you with my number 3. I think you'll like this. I have a lot of films near the top. I've seen 22 and average rating of 3.82. Anyways, it's 1998. Numero uno, Saving Private Ryan. Numero dos, Big Lebowski. 3, I don't believe you've seen this one, but it's about Vietnam. It lingers on a lot of shots, which you might not like, but it has a fucking all-star cast. Mm-hmm. It's in English. It's about Vietnam. It's called Thin Red Line.
I don't think I saw that. I should watch that.
You might have some issues with it because, like I said, there's a lot
Who's
of
in
like.
it?
All right, you're gonna be astounded by this fucking cast. So here's the deal with it. Here's another like super headline from it. Adrian Brody was supposed to be the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he went to the premiere of the movie thinking he was the main character, and then he watched it and he's like,
I'm barely in it.
75% of my scenes were cut. It's that director is a little bit crazy, and it's such a cast where like I think Sean Penn's in it, but I'm gonna read it to you. You're gonna be Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, I know him.
Caviezel.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Christ.
Nick Nolte, which I know you're probably like, okay.
No, I like Nolte.
Sean Penn.
Yeah.
Ben Chaplin, who I don't know very well.
I kind of know him.
Okay, another, like, he's a character actor. Elias Koteas, but John Cusack, John C. Reilly, Woody Harrelson,
Holy crap.
Adrian Brody, George Clooney, Jared Leto, John Travolta, John Savage, and that's about it. But yeah, this guy, he has oil money. So he pays actors to be in his films. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. Some people really don't like it. And I know this one might break through to you, though, because it is Vietnam. You ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
American History X.
Yeah.
Rushmore by Wes Anderson. I think it's hilarious. The Celebration. That one's just like very bleak, but very good. Eternity in a Day. And another documentary, Wrestling with Shadows. The Bret Hart story.
Oh, okay. Some I don't know. American History X, yes. Thin Red Line. I mean, I would just take your word for it, and I have heard of it. God, I can't believe that's cast. Huh?
Saving Private Ryan.
You know, I only liked the beginning and the end. The rest of it I didn't really like. I'll be honest, I didn't.
Do you hate it, though?
No, of course not. But, I mean, I just thought it kind of got... You know, I talk about a lull in films.
Mm-hmm.
That had a lull. I mean, Hanks just didn't do it for me in that movie. You know, the landing is just, you know...
Peak cinema.
Yeah. The landing is just incredible. And then at the end, where they fight off a Panzer division, is just insanely good.
Pretty badass.
Yeah.
What I think the middle tries to do, and its reason for existing...
Well, they got to get to them. I mean, granted, they're not going to be like blood and guts all the way through part of Germany or France.
So you look at... So there's the Pacific Theater, and then they don't call it the Atlantic Theater. What did they call that? The European. Oh, the European Theater.
I think.
Okay. When you look at that, Japan, it was easy. They hit us first. That's why we're fighting there.
Yeah.
But when you look at Germany, it comes down to they were doing something that was an atrocity. Okay, so we were sending human lives over the Atlantic, and a lot of them we knew weren't going to come back.
Right.
To save someone else.
You mean saving or Europe? Or?
To save Jewish lives, to save European lives.
We didn't know about that. They found that out later. They didn't. That's not why we went. We didn't know.
They didn't know?
No, I don't think they knew. No, it was to keep.
Well, then even you look at it, then
fighting Nazism is what it was. That's what it was, because Germany would have been, a dictatorship.
Then you look at it as the European lives from the beginning standpoint, and it's like so, but because they thought it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's what that middle and ultimately the entire movie's about. And that's what Matt Damon represents.
Okay.
It's like, it's kind of hope. It's like, okay, if he stays alive, that bloodline can keep going and they can become something. I mean, now you look at Europe and a lot of those countries have become.
Well, but they're not Nazis.
Well, they're not Nazis, no.
I mean, they, have issues.
They're very,
They're flirting with, like, neo-socialism, maybe, some of them, and fighting back against that in some ways.
Well,
but,
like the bad parts of communism, just not the human toll, but at least you can't say or believe things that you want to believe.
Oh, well, yeah, like censorship.
Yeah.
Which they have it in the UK. But had we not done what we did, I mean, the course of human events would have changed dramatically. Now, we could have focused everything on Japan and just said, hey, Europe, you're on your own. But it was definitely was the right thing.
Could they have?
They wanted to. I've watched so many different documentaries about Second World War and Hitler and so forth. So Hitler wrote a follow-up to Mein Kampf, and it was about invading United States.
When did he release that?
I don't know. I don't know. I know
or
I
did
read
he?
Well, he wrote it. I don't know if it was actually like ever released or not, but he wanted. I mean, there was a German term for it, but it was called growing space. So he wanted to just greatly expand the human or the German race,
so that they could we have.
Yeah. So as we grow, we need more room, and we had room,
And we could have just been farmland for the main
for Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, there's many mistakes they made that really benefited us, and one was of many. Like their U-boat program was super successful. Like they were taking our ships out all the time. They were really good at it. But whoever the head of the Navy wanted to go with like battleships because you could see, they were grand looking and, for the press.
Show of force.
Yes. So, and then they switched. I mean, they still had the submarine fleets and so forth, but they put way more attention onto like battleships and those kind of, and had they just stuck with the submarines, because we had to get stuff to England in order to do anything against Germany.
Our supply lines mightily.
Yes. And, if you think of, if there's a good movie called Greyhound, I think it's called that, and Tom Hanks is in it, and it's about, a freighter crossing the Atlantic. And for a while, apparently, submarines don't want to be where there's air cover, because maybe they're just sitting ducks.
Yeah.
So, but for only a portion of, close to our side of the Atlantic and close to England's side of the Atlantic, could we provide air cover, because we had limited range. But in between there was just, you were running the gauntlet.
Oh, okay. And it's about making it through that.
Right. And, this is about one of those ships that, makes it through, and the battle that ensues the whole time. And it was brutal. I mean, you were like, there was like Russian roulette to be on one of those ships.
We need more World War One movies. I know we were just talking about World War Two.
That appears on one of my lists.
I'm not that stupid, but about No Man's Land.
Yeah.
Where you're in between trenches.
Well, that's why. Well, for one thing, it's that long ago. I mean, it's over 100 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't.
Motherfuckers don't get it.
Well, I mean, it was trench warfare. So, I mean, there wasn't. I mean, there was
flashy to witness.
Yes. Yeah. It wasn't as
ace pilots going after one another.
Yeah, offensive warfare. There were some aerial battles which were not that significant, but probably were kind of exciting to.
Yeah. Well, hey, some movie news. Just throwing this tidbit while we're off on tangents. But the Odyssey looks cool. Superman's coming out, and I guess you're not gonna like this. I don't really like it myself. Tom Holland, he played Spider-Man. He was the last guy to play Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They're eyeing him to play James Bond, apparently. The Amazon bought James Bond. He's too skinny to be James Bond.
Let me look him up. I think I know who he is.
So I'm going to say something, and it's true. Women, I don't know what generation of women this is. Maybe the Zoomer women. They like men who look like boys nowadays.
Yeah.
That's why, no offense to Timothée Chalamet, he's a great actor. But he gained prominence, I think, because he cultivated a women.
Well, he's like
him.
From a boy band type.
He looks like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's effeminate looking.
But even
I know
what?
Him. Yeah.
Like the funny thing is, the people who were in boy bands back in the 90s could definitely beat up the Timothée Chalamets and the Tom Hollands.
Timmy looks like a
I think he weighs
like breeze would knock him over.
He weighs like $140,
yeah,
and I think Tom Holland weighs like, if he's $150, that's about as much as he weighs.
Yeah,
and
I could see him being Bond though. I could see him. They could make him. I mean, he's youngish. He's only 29,
which is good for the series. I agree. You need someone young.
Oh, he's a Gemini. Did you know that?
That's made up. It doesn't mean anything.
No.
And you know what?
Astrology's real.
The way that the Earth rotates and orbits, all that, the lunar calendar, that stuff, it doesn't actually match up with the 365-day year. So Geminis, back in 100 years ago, aren't the same as Geminis now. And then you have your Mercury rising and all that bullshit. None of it means anything.
It was Spider-Man. I mean, he was alright. So what? He's got the.
That was his best role, though.
I know.
So I mean, what else are we basing it on?
Looks. He
was good. He was good as well. He does have that going. He is English.
Yeah.
And it must be an Englishman,
Yeah.
Because it always has been. But he had Peter Parker down pat because he looked like a kid.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield, I didn't like him for a lot of reasons as Spider-Man. And looking back, the one thing that I think we should all agree upon was he did kind of look like an adult playing a high school. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it reminds me of like the weird older guys who graduated and still hung around with high school kids. So...
Yeah, I did that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I still do that.
Look at me kind of weird, but yeah, eventually I win him over.
Yeah, I don't think... I actually think the guy, his name's Aaron Taylor Johnson. He was just in 28 Years Later. He would be a badass Bond. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Because I liked Sean Connery because he was more physically commanding.
Yeah, you have to be handsome but not cute. And
ruggedly handsome. Like
yes.
Daniel Craig was that.
Yeah.
He was the killer. So a lot of people, they kind of, like any written character where, there are these huge aspects that make up the character that is James Bond.
Yeah.
Batman has it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know Bond because I didn't read Bond. But, you know,
I tried to once.
some of the characters are more suave. Or some of the actors are more suave.
Yeah.
A la... Thinking of the guy from Roger Moore.
Yeah.
You know, and even
Timothy
Dalton. He was more rugged.
Yeah.
I'd say, but that was the times. And Connery, he was the aggressive.
Yeah.
I don't know. Craig was a fucking killing machine, though.
Yeah.
He's mine. He's my James Bond.
He was a good Bond.
He was really good. Connery is the very close second, though. But everyone else is just a tier below for me. Yeah. The one who a lot of people like, though, is Pierce Brosnan. He was, again, back to kind of a more suave.
Yeah.
I ain't with that. I don't like it.
It's not you. Huh?
I get that's a huge part of that character.
Well, you have to be a combination. You can't be too much of one or the other.
Yeah.
He's got to be a poet warrior.
Yeah.
You know.
So just to be able to flip that switch where, he can talk eloquently.
Sophisticated. Yeah, you're sophisticated. You talk eloquently. You're intelligent. But you're also a cold-blooded killer when need be.
And that's what Craig got so right. I'm sorry to just harp on this, but you could tell he was masking himself so much.
Yeah.
That he wasn't drinking because he was a socialite. He was drinking because he had done horrible things and had horrible things happen to him.
Yeah.
And I think he killed because he had anger, and a lot of those emotions just don't come because the movies are kind of more playful, especially the earlier renditions.
With Craig in them, or are you talking about Bond in general?
Bond in general.
Some of them were. Yeah.
They just wouldn't even think it wouldn't match thematically if Sean Connery were to act like a tortured soul.
No.
People would
not like. There's one with these two women. They're in Nevada or Las Vegas, and they're called Bambi and Thumper.
Mm-hmm.
And they know karate, and they're kicking his ass for a long time, and he finally subdues them. But it's humorous. You know, it's a playful. And he's not a tortured soul. You know, he's arrogant. And
So,
man's man.
That's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
Hit me with your fourth year.
I'm going to go 2019. 2017 really sucks. I don't know why I did that. All right, for 2019, it's 1917.
Okay. That was good. Very good.
Irishman.
I need to see that, and I apologize for not having seen it.
That's right. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Irishman goes on a long time. That's a pretty long movie. But it's supposedly about, it's one of those just...
Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I really liked.
That.
And then what really made so that I picked this year is The Joker.
Ah, yes.
And they listed the movies, and maybe, I don't know what criteria they used to list them. Maybe it was what they earned. I don't know. But so they picked basically 10 from each year.
Mm-hmm.
And Joker was 7th on that list. I'm like, Joker was number 1, the very least of that year.
For you.
Well,
I'm kidding.
No, but yeah, but I mean, come on. Now, maybe 1917 could be rated higher than that.
I would give the Joker, of the 21st century, where do you think I have the Joker rated? 87th.
That sucks.
It's in the top hundo.
Oh, okay. All right.
Tell
me the one above it and below it, because I have to hear this.
Let me find that tab again. Mulholland Drive, American Psycho.
All right, Mulholland Drive, yes. Americans, I don't understand people love that movie.
I do. I don't know.
I guess I never watched it. The whole thing.
You are so bad at that, man.
Like I saw parts of it. That's it.
It is a tremendous twist.
Tell me, because I'm never going to watch it. Or if I haven't.
Well, okay, so there's theories about this. I'm going to give you the theory.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not going to matter because you.
Well, so he's a sociopath who works on Wall Street or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And you, as the viewer, are supposed to think, "Oh my God, did none of this happen?" Right? And I think parts of it didn't.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It might all have, though.
Yeah.
Because there's the guy he kills is Jared Leto.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But everyone keeps I think they either keep calling Bale by the wrong name or Jared Leto by the wrong name. I can't remember which, but that's actually why the twist is another twist at the end, because he called his lawyer and was like, "Look, I killed all these people. I killed blah blah blah," and the lawyer's like, "So and so just had lunch with him last week," but the commentary is supposed to be like it's the uniformity of the yuppie culture, and it's just like everyone's conforming and everyone's the same.
Yeah.
That people thought the guy that he admitted to killing was still alive because they got him mixed up with another guy
who's very much like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the big twist. I don't know if anyone is familiar with that. I didn't do it justice because I didn't know the specificity, but I think it's the Jared Leto guy. Because they're like, "Oh, I went to lunch with him," or you know what I mean?
Okay. So you don't even know if he killed anyone?
I think he actually did kill Jared Leto. Which makes it even more of a mind fuck, because you're like, well, how did he get away with it? Well, anywho, my number 4, I've seen 11 films from this year. My average rating is a 4.27 of the films I've seen from this year.
Is what?
4.27.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how many of these you have seen. You might not have seen any. But to me, these are fucking amazing. Persona by Ingmar Bergman. Andrei Rublev, that's my favorite Ingmar Bergman film. Andrei Rublev, which is my favorite Andrei Tarkovsky movie. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, my favorite Sergio Leone movie. Sword of Doom, which is a really fucking good samurai film. Django. I mean, if it wasn't for The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Django would probably be the best spaghetti western of all time. And then just a really cool, historic black and white movie, The Battle of Algiers, which is about...
Algiers.
Yeah.
The French.
Yeah. Persona is one of the best foreign movies of all time. Andrei Rublev is just this momentous piece about the fresco painter, but it has overarching themes about inspiration and someone finding that kind of that light inside after it had been extinguished. I don't need to tell you about The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I mean, that's just a badass movie. Which, if you haven't seen it and you are male, you probably...
I saw it. Don't even say it. I know what you're going to say.
What'd you think? I mean, what else? I mean, what can you say about it? It's a badass movie.
Yeah.
You want to hit me with yours? Sorry, I didn't take into consideration the fact that you might not have seen any of those.
That's all right. See, I was trying to do a little. Well, this 2017, which even now that I read it, one movie on there I really thought stood out, but it wasn't that great a year. But 3 billboards in some county somewhere.
Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah. So that Get Out, which
Get Out is good.
Yeah, and then Dunkirk is what really.
Dunkirk's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect it. I'm not gonna.
It's not enough to be. I wish I had another one on, to make that. And maybe there wasn't. I didn't write it down, but, that's not enough to make it a good year in film. Those 3.
It's The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
No. Well, I mean, that's a classic. That's a classic movie. It is.
I know.
That's a huge. I mean, for years that was just.
It probably is
Classic.
still the best Western of all time. Well, I have one that I think I like above it.
That's probably Japanese, though, right?
It's The Searchers by John Ford.
Okay. What, 43?
It's in color. It's somewhere in the 60s.
Whoa! A color movie. You watched one of those? Were you taken away by how vibrant?
Believe it or
colors
not,
are?
well, it is actually. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I know.
The Searchers.
You get really into, like I said, that color.
Because it's like color painted on, dude. It looks amazing.
What do they do? Do they color it by hand? What? Was that? Are we talking about Technicolor? Is that what this was?
So, I saw some. The reason I saw it was just the backstory. So the title of it is how that coloring, old school coloring, was actually based upon a white model, like a girl. They would have vibrant color dresses and shit, but the color matching was supposed to match to white skin, and I guess it didn't do black skin super well, so like black people wouldn't look accurate.
Right.
But it did tell you, like in the video, which was pretty cool, that there was chemical packages to show off each color, so that each color came through correctly. But I don't know, that doesn't explain the narrative though of why it looks so cool, and it did.
Well, it's just more saturated.
Yeah,
The
I
reds
love
are
saturation.
Huh?
I just love saturation in color.
Well, yeah, it's definitely. But you know what? I'll because I've seen some of those, and and it pops like crazy. But I have seen when they do have like African American actors or actresses in those, they don't look right. It just doesn't work for them. I think it makes them darker, like real dark.
Yeah, it's almost like.
And you're just like, whoa, that guy! It doesn't even look like anyone would.
Yeah.
Or I don't think.
Here's the problem with digital though, is it makes white people, you get washed out. Okay. And I know you can do stuff so that isn't the case, but I guess you got to pick your battles, right?
Yeah, well, I'm sure that process that they use for.
If you go all black cast, go digital. If you go all white cast, go.
Technicolor, I guess that's what it was. But that's probably a super expensive process too, and it was film, and they don't use film.
Yeah, Tarantino said it just can't be done anymore. I don't know if it's even cost or expertise, if there's just not studios that or whatever that would be willing to do it.
Well, yeah, because of both. I mean, those people probably don't exist anymore who did that. I mean, they could figure it out, but then I think the expense, it's probably very tedious.
Be like, okay, so it'll take us a year to be able to do that.
And you can't do that with a movie anymore.
Yeah. But I would love to see it.
Yeah.
Someone needs to figure out a way to do that on digital then. Have a preset color package. I can't believe that
they can't figure it out.
I mean, Tarantino's movies do have a distinct visual style that makes him stand out. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, but I think the color in his films does generally...
He likes color.
Yeah. But there's even 2000s films that have captured a distinct visual style, and a lot of it does come from foreign film, just for whatever reason.
Maybe because it's film.
Yeah.
And not...
That's true. Maybe they're like actually their technology not being quite to our level, but it looks groundbreaking.
Maybe it's not just. I mean, they're probably able to, although there is expense in getting probably all the digital equipment you need to do a film. But it's like this is how we do it. It's like I know there's digital, but this works better for us.
Yeah.
Just like, every director has certain things that they like to do, and Kubrick was a perfectionist to the extreme. And
Wong Kar-wai, for any of you listeners who like distinct visuals, you might already know him, but if you don't, and you're not afraid of foreign film, Wong Kar-wai.
Name a movie he's made.
In the Mood for Love and Chungking Express would be my two recommendations off the top of my head. He's done a lot more. Fallen Angels is amazing. Happy Together is another one, I believe. Really good.
I've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah. Not a lot of like. I don't even know what to call them. I call them like. So there's mainstream. Maybe I call them midstream. I'll coin that term.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like, if you were alive during that time, you probably saw it. Like you mentioned a really good one when we were doing our underrated or underappreciated movies. You know, it's just like good cast. If you were alive during that time, you probably would have went out.
Didn't stick out or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just midstream.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Those
Event Horizon, maybe was that it?
Well, no, that one I have seen.
Yeah.
And that's got a niche audience though. But you mentioned, so the Narcos one, I would have seen. Traffic, yeah, because I think that again, it's distinct enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna pull it up because I put it on my watch list. Blood Diamond, like that to me, that's midstream.
Yes, you're right.
Sleepers is midstream.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, okay. Because I couldn't remember all the movies I named.
Because like, if Sleepers came out today with that type of you know what I mean? Like I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And that's because I watch so many more movies in the year of, you know, it's like it's a new movie.
Yeah. Well, because it had Brad Pitt and De Niro.
Exactly. But it's really weird that it...
Neither one were the star.
Well, that's a mistake.
Well...
Maybe a schedule conflict.
I can't remember who was, but I mean, Pitt, there was 4 kids who got sent to reform school, and he was one of them.
Yeah.
Later in life. Because they're young and then they age, and it's about after they age.
Well, man, maybe that's part of the issue. Just stick with, so Brad Pitt can be in it as much as possible.
Well, it would. Well, yeah, that's true. Maybe he wasn't as popular. I don't know. But De Niro
definitely was. Yeah. All right, this last one. This is another great year. 1962, I've seen 15 movies from that year. 4.07 average rating. Hetty Ketty. You've heard me talk about that a lot.
Yes.
Lawrence,
oh boy.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, considered, gold.
The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Yeah, I remember that.
And these last 3 are... They're foreign, so the viewers will appreciate this, but not
No, I don't think they will.
Sanjuro, which is the sequel to Yojimbo. Cleo from 5 to 7. It's French New Wave. And then The Exterminating Angel. It's actually that really weird movie I was telling you about, where they're in a room and they just can't leave.
Yeah.
There's nothing actually holding them back. They
can't get out.
They're just stuck.
Yeah.
I mean, the top 3, it's like, that's a banging top 3. As far as I'm concerned.
Well, Lawrence of Arabia is considered, like, top 10 ever made.
And Harry Carey, according to Letterboxd, is top 10 as well.
Yeah, I think that is well known. What was the third one?
The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance has Jimmy Stewart and John Wayne.
Okay. Well,
that's a cool movie. It's a badass Western if you like Westerns.
I don't know why I don't. I mean, they fell out of favor, as you know, because there was a time where, for 2 decades where they just...
They're making like one a year. Or one a week, I mean.
No, they weren't making them at all. They just became
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when, they made them all the time. And then they just fell off the planet. So... There was a long period of time where very few were made. Maybe because it was just they had made so many. I mean, that was a formula film. I think it was one of the 5 most popular genres. Yeah.
It had lost its novelty.
Western, love.
Honestly, during it, musicals were probably a big deal around the time that Westerns were a big deal.
Oh. Probably, yeah. I don't know if they were ever...
I don't fucking know when... Maybe critically, musicals were a big deal.
People like
because
they didn't make a lot of them, but I think there were ones like Singing in the Rain. But
it was around when that one that it was like, yeah, let's make a musical.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if anyone says that to me, I don't make movies, so no one's gonna pitch
it's like,
movies.
make me a musical. It's like, I make movies, I don't make musicals.
Yeah.
It's not.
I just I never
They
think
made
that's
La
gonna
La
make.
Land. Oh my god, I didn't.
Yeah,
see
I
it,
started to watch that with my fiance, and she was my girlfriend at the time, and even she was like, "Nope, not really into it." And
It
that's
just
how
seemed
you
like they were
know.
patting themselves on the back, or was that it?
I
What was it
don't know
about?
what really made. I just think we just didn't get hooked. You know.
Neither one of them can sing very well, right? It was Ryan Gosling and
I don't know.
none of them.
That wasn't the reason.
Okay,
I was just not interested in the plot so much.
yeah.
But people fucking love that film, man. So I'm
I
gonna,
mean,
I'm
is
gonna
it?
have to
No.
watch it eventually.
I think there's a whole few hundred else you have to watch prior to that.
Yeah, but people adore it.
Well, there's people that like musicals, so they're going to love it because there's very few of them. There's no modern ones. West Side Story, the new West Side Story, was it a musical or not? With Rachel Zegler?
I didn't watch that.
Because the original is a musical.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I assume it is.
dancing.
I see. There are movies that have overcome that I like Grease.
Yeah, yeah. I would
Disney
agree.
movies. Like.
Yeah, they're almost. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But that's never going to be a selling point for me.
No.
You got to watch it. It's a musical. Like you said, like Joker 2, that was a big boom boom. Every day that I get further away from the film, I'm starting to see people's perspective why they hate that film.
I don't understand.
I got a few thousand views for being a contrarian.
That's like making Godfather 5 and make it a comedy.
Well, that might be something to do. But when
Yeah.
you get to part 5 of a series.
Okay, all right. But to take a Godfather-like scenario and make it into a
Yeah,
comedy.
true.
Which they've done, but it's a piece of crap movie, Not exactly The Godfather, but I've seen comedies with mafioso.
Yeah. I did too. Johnny Dangerously is kind of like that.
With Keaton?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
It's humorous.
Yeah, it's likable. He's likable.
He is a really good actor. I'm a big fan of him. This was fun.
Yeah.
I think.
I got it with before we hang up. Oh, you remember last week I was talking about the other guys?
Mm-hmm.
And he was in it. Did you see the other guys?
Michael Keaton.
If Michael Keaton was in it, yeah. He was a police sergeant, but he had a second job in like a Bed Bath and Beyond. And sometimes he would get confused as to where he was when he was like giving speeches about being safe at work, and when you're out there, always check your your six, and then he was at Bed Bath and Beyond when he was saying this. It's, oh no, I'm sorry. I remember the bath mats are on sale.
He's
And one
amazing.
time, with Marky Mark and
Farrell.
go in because they're working a case and they need something from him. And he said, "Hey, Chief, he said, are you guys here for the bath mats?"
He's great.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of him.
Well, I'm trying to think of the movie. One movie he plays a pimp with Henry Winkler. It's so freaking funny. It
I have to check that out.
might be Night Shift, might be called Night Shift or something like that, because they work at a morgue, but they start a pimp business on the side, and that's like maybe like the first time I've ever really saw him, and he was like really over the top and funny as hell in that movie.
Yeah, because he has humor. And that's his like roots though.
Oh yeah. He's a
'Cause he was,
comedic actor.
What is it called? Nanny? Something Nanny?
Oh, Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom, yeah.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, he's going to be Batman? What the hell?
Yeah.
And he nailed it,
Yeah.
Next video we're going to be doing, unless there's a national tragedy, let's hope not, knock on wood, is top 10 films of the 21st century, and I'll let you guys have my number 10 before we even record.
Ooh, he's teasing it.
Whiplash.
God, I don't like that movie.
What? You want to talk Michael Keaton being a good dramatic actor? J.K. Simmons. That was his
let me tell you why.
role. Miles Teller put him on the map. He's America's
it's kind of interesting,
heartthrob now.
Here's the thing. They talk about, we always go to achieve excellence. And it's like, the worst things you ever hear is good job, or, that's the worst thing. It's like, life revolves around people doing average work. Mm-hmm. It's not all about excellence. It's about maybe excellence if you're an artist of some sort, creating art.
Oh, we have a philosophical debate.
Well, you have to remember this now. Because that I found the world revolves around people doing average work. There's not exceptionality all the time in everything. There isn't. You can't sustain that, and it doesn't happen. It's not realistic. Because do you remember they talk about the guy throwing a cymbal at somebody for not doing the drum beat right or something? It's like, come on, man. Look, this cat, like when he graduates from his conservatory or whatever, he's going to, he's never going to be in Heinz Hall like his father tells him, or Carnegie Hall.
Unless he's
not.
Obsesses.
He's not.
Unless he obsesses.
Okay, well, maybe, but the world revolves around people they say the world is run by people that see students in school run the world.
Well, let me hit you with one that I just came up with.
It better be better than what I just said.
The pyramids were built by slaves.
Actually, that is so weird. I read an article 2 days. It wasn't.
Like like
artisans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't know why they know that.
Though.
Yeah, I mean, there had to be slave labor. There's a lot of folks doing that, and they all weren't on the payroll. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, but
granted,
it is the tippy top of the iceberg that create the ideas that allow the middle to exist.
No, well,
America would not be America if not for
some very, very
the names that stand out in history.
Correct. No, I'm not saying there's anything against excellence. I mean, that is a goal for sure, absolutely. It's just, I don't know. Like they kept making them do these drum things, and I mean, it was excessive. I mean, that guy was a fucking dumbass professor who played at nightclubs on the side or something like that. You can't go that insane about what he was trying to do.
And that's the tail or the flip side of the mentality, though. That is supposed to be a glaring, whatever you want to call it, flaw
of his.
It's like, why the fuck are they, like, why this doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And yet for them, it's like they will chase that to the ends of the earth.
So that's, I get that point, and I appreciate that as well. It's just there is a flip side to what the movie was trying to portray in one sense.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. The way I see it is there's millions of people in America. So there has to be something.
320, approximately.
There has to be something. I think it's closer to 400, but maybe my numbers are inflated.
Maybe 363, possibly.
Like, so millions of people have to be doing something. But if there weren't titans of industry or
yes,
the people on the cutting edge of innovation.
Yeah, the true elites, not just the people who feel that they do drive.
Yeah, like actual thinkers
and doers.
Yeah.
I mean, that. I think we're getting into a crisis now of too many thinkers, especially social thinkers.
Well, because
they're not advancing anything.
Literally just mental masturbation.
Yes.
It's like everyone should have a mattress, a purple mattress. That's communism. But I wouldn't be upset if I had a purple mattress.
Just in color or the actual brand?
The brand.
Yeah, the brand's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mine's purple, but not the good kind.
If you had like if not, I don't know, people dislike Elon Musk, but it's like there's figures in history who propel us forward like decades.
Yeah.
John Ford, is that it? The automobile
Yeah.
titan?
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Carnegie, who's the rail merchant? Rockefeller.
Yeah. But no, they did. They did. Absolutely. That was more pure capitalism, but it did drive things forward because they were they greedy? Yeah. They were never really satisfied. So they pushed things beyond, they pushed things further and advanced things, and it hurt people. Like the Industrial Revolution hurt a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But it's either that or we're still in the 18th century now. You know, mm-hmm. You have to industrialize. You got to go through that. You got to go into the information age and whatever becomes beyond that, which we're kind of going into now. And I don't know what they call it. You know.
Well, we're in the cyber era. And it may,
that's
be
probably
the
a good
AI
term.
era.
Yeah.
Depending on how much of an impact it actually has.
It's
society.
It's the infancy of it now. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, you can, but to have it incorporated and integrated into more.
What's in the zeitgeist, and that's actually a big thing. Is just
that is, but it starts like running factories.
Yeah.
And doing surgery and blah blah blah. There's a lot of different fields it could be used in, and it's really kind of like a bystander now because we're afraid to let it completely go, on its own.
True. Yeah, I just like that movie. I mean, performance-wise, J.K. Simmons, that's one of the best.
Now he is, yeah. I agree. He's good.
All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us, DadMan. Thank you as always.
Peace,
love, and biscuits.
Whatever the third thing is. Peace, love, and